And welcome to Hannity. And tonight we start with a Fox News alert. Eric Trump will join us in a moment live. He was with his dad all day today. He'll give us an inside scoop. First, a dark day for our republic. The Department of Justice, the rule of law, what looks to be potentially a shocking overreach. We'll find out in due time that will have serious ramifications potentially for many, many years to come. Now, Biden's politically charged. We've already chronicled all this. DOJ is now being used as a weapon against Biden's top political rival. That's the former president of the United States of America, Donald Trump. Earlier today, the FBI raided the former president's Florida home, Mar-A-Lago, while he was in New York. According to President Trump, the agents swarmed his residence unannounced, breaking into the home and even his personal safe. In a statement, the 45th president wrote, quote, "My beautiful home is currently under siege, raided and occupied by a large group of FBI agents." He continued, quote, "Nothing like this has ever happened to the president of the United States before. After working and cooperating with the relevant government agencies, this unannounced raid on my home was not necessary or appropriate. It is prosecutorial misconduct, the weaponization of the justice system, and an attack by the radical left Democrats who desperately do not want me to run for president in 2024. According to the New York Times tonight, who got the scoop first, somehow, the search was focused on documents that the former president brought with him from the White House, including potentially classified documents. Sources are now telling Fox News that the raid was not related in any way to January 6th, but according to one source, the FBI was, quote, not being judicious about what they took during the search. Just so we are clear, this raid is truly, completely unprecedented, and you can't imagine this would have ever happened to a Democrat. This is where Americans now begin to ask the question, do we have a dual justice system in America? Is there equal justice under the law? Do we have equal applications of our laws? Remember Hillary Clinton's house? It was never raided, even though she stored troves of classified material on a personal server. She deleted 33,000 emails. Remember, nobody had ever heard of BleachBit before Hillary Clinton. And then there were hammers involved with devices and SIM cards that were missing. How about the dirty, unverifiable Russian dossier that Hillary Clinton paid for, being used to lie to a FISA court, to spy on a then presidential candidate, later a president? What about the high-ranking DOJ officials that signed what was, says at the top of a FISA warrant, verified, but they signed their name to something that was unverifiable and has now been completely debunked and claimed before judges that it was verified? It wasn't. And then there's Joe Biden on tape, the real quid pro quo, bragging that he withheld $1 billion taxpayer dollars. You have 6 hours to fire a Ukrainian prosecutor who he turns out was investigating his son Hunter, who was being paid millions of dollars with no experience at all whatsoever. Hunter lies on a gun application. What happened to Hunter? Nothing. What if it was Don Jr.? What if it was Eric Trump? On tape, you have of course, Hunter Biden smoking crack and with hookers. I think those things are illegal. What happened to him? Nothing. We had Director Wray before Congress last week. They have had Hunter's laptop longer than anybody. What have they done with it? Nothing. Millions of dollars paid to Hunter from Ukraine, Russia, a $1.5 billion deal with the Bank of China, a $100,000 shopping spree with a Chinese national. No experience. Nothing happens. Joe, on tape, bragging again and again, I've never, ever, ever discussed my son's foreign business dealings. Well, we know of at least 14 occasions now, and we have pictures, in some cases, with Joe, Hunter, and guess what? Hunter's foreign business partners. Nothing happens to them. The Bidens have never had their homes raided. They literally sold access to the highest levels of our government. The big guy was taking his 10% cut, according to his own son's laptop. And yet President Biden has never faced legal scrutiny. It's not even clear that his son Hunter, who has literally recorded his crimes in great detail, will ever get charged with any crime. No raid to his house. But if your last name is Roger Stone or if your name is Paul Manafort, you got a pre-dawn raid, guns drawn, FBI SWAT team pointing guns in your face, a process crime, and CNN cameras to boot. They just happen to be there at 5:30 a.m. to film it all. If you're Peter Navarro, you get put in handcuffs and leg shackles and hauled away from an airport for a charge of a misdemeanor. We saw the same heavy-handed tactics with General Flynn, Carter Page, Paul Manafort, pre-dawn raid, guns drawn, and so many others. Make no mistake, if you're associated with Donald Trump in any way, you better cross all your I's and dot all your T's, because they're coming for you with the full force of the federal government. They will break down your front door. They will spy on your texts and your phone calls. They will charge you with every process crime in the book. They'll throw you in leg chains and handcuffs, and they'll stick guns in your face at 5:30 in the morning just to send a message. Why doesn't this ever happen to a Democrat? Equal justice under the law, is it dead? Equal application of our laws, is that dead? Has our Department of Justice been turned into a political weapon? And if they can do this to President Trump, what do you think they can do to the rest of us? We'll have full breaking coverage all night long. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.